The way out of burnout is not trying harder, but stopping completely. Hi there. Here we are talking about burnout and recovery from burnout again. And before we get deeper in today's topic, I would like to walk you back to 5 years ago when I first visited a therapist's office. I was having the biggest period of burnout and identity crisis up until then. And after complaining with my therapist about how chaotic my life was, she asked me, was my childhood the same? And it took me a while to answer her. I couldn't recall the exact reasons why I didn't feel chaotic, even though the problems were the same. I felt left out, no one understood me, and had many problems with friends and family, and even schoolwork. The problems existed in both childhood and at the time of me talking to the therapist, but I couldn't know why whenever I thought of childhood, I would think of it as a more peaceful period for me. I went ahead and answered my therapist that I don't believe that my childhood was as chaotic as that time. And it was not until long after that I realized the exact difference between my childhood and the time that I had identity crisis back then. And it turned out that the biggest difference was during childhood, I allowed myself to rest and do nothing before taking the next step whenever I had something really unexpected coming into my life or an event that was so overwhelming that made me so anxious. As a young adult, I run into this fear of opportunity cost whenever I thought of rest. And opportunity cost for me back then was that I would waste lots of time for not doing anything. During that time, I could use some of the effort to learn a language, to learn a new skill, to upgrade my English, etc. So, this pressure to continue work and work and work drained me out. And whenever I had something stressful, I wouldn't allow myself to rest or to do nothing and allow my brain to decompress, process, reflect, and recover. That was the first time I ever realized the benefits of doing nothing. And since then, I tried to remind myself that whenever it was stressful, you should take a rest and do nothing. So, this episode is all about doing nothing. When a person is burned out, it often means they are carrying a massive rest debt or a long absence of doing nothing. And that period of nothing is crucial for recovery. In full rest mode, your brain can process and synthesize past experiences, reflect on what changed, what happened, and form new insights. Believe it or not, history has shown that many great insights emerge from a moment of doing nothing. And psychologists have also found that after a true period of rest, when we finally choose to act, that choice becomes stronger and our reasons are clearer. We can sustain our effort more steadily, consistently, compared to when we force ourselves without pause. That's why the second step out of burnout is allowing your brain to fully rest. In other words, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, sometimes doing nothing at the time of stressful moment can be really bad. For example, if you got into a car accident and you didn't do anything to, get yourself out of it, that would be really bad. But many of our problems do not need instant fixing. You might ask, what do you mean by doing nothing? Scrolling on the phone? Doing something unrelated to work? Or going out with friends? Or exercising? No. Doing nothing means doing nothing, literally. You sit on a chair or lie on your bed and just breathe. No crossing items off a to-do list. No planning, no calculating. Just sitting still and letting yourself be. It is similar to meditation, a practice of being with yourself and with the present moment, without forcing your mind toward the past or the future. The brain naturally produces thoughts. These are freely associated thoughts. You don't force your mind onto a specific topic. You simply observe what arises. And if nothing arises, that's okay too. If you practice doing nothing, and at some point you may feel really bored or anxious, and you may want to escape by doing something else. If doing nothing feels too difficult, start slowly. Do your daily activities at half speed, like setting playback to 0.5 instead of living at 2.0 all the time. Slow your breathing, allowing yourself to daydream, and let your thoughts flow without controlling them. Allow yourself to do nothing or doing things slowly for several days, even weeks or longer. During this time, emotions memories and thoughts may surface. You may cry, laugh, feel anger. Questions may arise about why you feel this way, and sometimes answers will appear too. Answers never come when you are forcing yourself to find them. For some of us, the answer doesn't come immediately, but you encounter something that eventually leads you there. A friend once shared how ironic it was during her deepest burnout and confusion when she finally let go and did nothing. The solution somehow found its way to her. And I experienced the same. The truth is, each of us burns out for a different reason, which means the path out will look slightly different for everyone. Only you truly know your situation, and only you can sense what the next step should be. But one thing is certain. The clarity you are looking for is not far away. It is already within you, or somewhere very close. You just need to give your mind the space to process, reflect, learn, and rediscover. So instead of asking, what should I fix next? Maybe ask, what if I allowed myself to pause, slow down, breathe, and let yourself be. Sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful thing you can do. And whenever you have that room for resting, I encourage you to rest and reflect, decompress, and let your brain freely associate what you know so far. Even you don't believe it, you already know the answer. It's just that you didn't allow yourself to be heard. So I hope that this episode can serve as a motivation for you to breathe, slow down, take rest, and let yourself be, so that one day you can recover from burnout.